those of you that have been with us for a long time now, as well as those who are new to the Narayan Bhargava family. Today is our very first digital Sheros event, and we are
Hi
proud to be
Hansala,
able
am
to
I
host it
audible?
today here on this wonderful e-stage with all of you. Before we get started, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to all of you who generously helped us make this event come together to become a success. We couldn't have done it without you. So, a warm welcome to each and every one of you. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time. I need to leave some time for the activities planned for today as well. But one last thing before that, I would like to introduce our esteemed guest speaker for the event. Let me tell you, all the gentlemen and Sheros, a little about her. She is a Shero herself, Miss Lavleen Riar. Miss Lavleen Riar is an entrepreneur in naturopathy along with working experience in health and wellness. She utilizes her expertise of being an entrepreneur by mentoring people willing to take up entrepreneurship and also guide them to live a healthy and empowered lifestyle. So, with that, I would like to say one last line that is, today will be fun and full of learning. Thank you very much for listening and let us welcome Lavleen Riar. Thank you. Without further ado, let us move towards the first activity or the opening act that is the riddle. Now, you must be wondering events such as Sheroes, starting off with the riddle. So, it's a more of a learning experience than a riddle. But let's see what answers do we get and what type of answers do people give to this riddle. A father is about to bring his son to a job interview, applying for a position at a large stockbrokers company in the city.
हेलो
Just as they arrive
Hello.
at the company's
Hello.
parking lot, the son's phone rings.
एको हो रही है
He
बिल्कुल नहीं हो
looks
रही
at
ना
his father,
क्योंकि मेरे
who
को यहाँ पे
says,
मेरे सिस्टम में एको रहा है देखो
"Go
Hello.
ahead, answer it."
मेरे सिस्टम में
The
ना एको
caller is the trading company's CEO, who says, "Good luck, son.
Hello.
You've got this."
कितना एको हो रहा
The son ends the call and once again looks at his father, who is still sitting next to him in the car. How is this possible? Now, you guys need to think for a minute, and whatever pops into your mind first, that is the answer. I would request all of you to write your answers in the chat box. You don't have to think much. Whatever comes to your mind first is the right solution. Just answer it.
Guys, this is a riddle basically, which we have chosen to start off this session with. Hansala, I would request you to just, if possible, scroll through the riddle once again so that people can go through it once again and then probably give a thought to it and answer the riddle in a more appropriate way.
Unmuted. I see it. Yeah, yeah. Now, you hear me? Okay, yeah, okay. So should I mute myself now?
Okay, so we will go ahead with the riddle one more time. Okay. The riddle is pretty simple actually. A father is about to bring his son to a job interview, applying for a position at a large stockbrokers company in the city. Just as they arrive at the company's parking lot, the son's phone rings. He looks at his father, who says, "Go ahead, answer it." The caller is the trading company's CEO who says, "Good luck, son. You have got this." The son ends the call and once again looks at his father, who is still next to him in the car. How is this possible?
So guys, you all can
Okay.
think, and
Couple
whatever
of-
comes to your mind first, you all can think, and whatever comes to your mind first, just put the answers, put those answers in the chat box.
Come on, guys, pace up.
Hansla, have you received any answers so far?
Yes, I have received a couple of
Hansla, have
answers
you received
and
any? Okay.
I'm
Can
just
you
waiting
just
for
read out the answers?
why not let it be a surprise, Mega, and directly display the answer so that the people who have, given the right answer or the wrong
Acha.
answer will know it because there's a message along with this riddle.
Okay, great. So let's wait for another 1 minute and see how many answers do we get. Come on, guys, whatever comes to your mind first, please put the answer in the chat box. Okay. So Hansla, how's the response going? Have we received good enough answers?
I'm still receiving the answers, still going on strong.
Okay.
I've received say about
Okay.
50 to 55 answers.
Okay.
It seems to have stopped now. Cool. So let's see what the answer is. It was his mother. Now, all those who answered it right must be thinking, oh, it was pretty simple. We guessed it in the first attempt itself. But then there are others who have given answers such as the father is the CEO, father's friend, the father was not the boy's father, father is the owner of the company, the father owns the company, the call went by mistake, cross connection, it was intended for someone else, company CEO is the father, relationship between father and CEO, and he was next to his father. The list goes on and on and on. But the answer was very simple. It was his mother. The message over here is that in majority of the cases, not only in this event or session, but in all the others, very few people thought it was the mother. And there is a very strong reason for that. And that is that we are gender biased. So if you're a man and you had anything in your mind apart from the answer displayed on the screen, I'm sorry to inform you that you are gender biased. But it is not uncommon. Majority of the people in today's world are. So that's nothing new. That is how society has made us think and believe. But if you are a woman and you thought of an answer apart from the one displayed on the screen, then you are biased against yourself. You have no one to blame but you. So to speak on the topic of the day, building the women around us, I hand over the stage to Miss Lavleen Riar to share her thoughts on this topic. Over to you, Miss Lavleen.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes.
Is
yes,
my webcam
we
supposed
can.
to be on or not? I'm not sure. Did you guys need
Miss
my
Lavleen,
webcam
that's a
on?
voluntary choice. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a voluntary choice. If you wish to come on video, we are completely welcome towards it.
it's nicer when we can see each other. I know I can't see you guys, but it would be nice if I could see other people also. But I'm assuming there's lots of people, paying attention to everything we're listening to here today. A little bit of, you can hear me clearly? All right, I'm assuming you can hear me if you haven't said otherwise.
Yeah, we can hear
Yes,
you. We
lovely.
can hear you. We
Quite
can
loud
hear
and
you.
clear.
Just before I begin with today's topic, it is all about women, gender bias, and building the women around us. Me being a woman myself, I grew up in India in the north, in Punjab. And from there on, when I was still a teenager, my family moved to Canada. So I've been in Canada most of my life. Though later on, I did come back to India for many years to have my children educated in India. And so obviously I have close ties because India is my home country. And I'm so glad to be speaking to all of you here. And thank you to the NB group and my dear friend Bhavin to, introduce me to you guys. So I'm a naturopathic doctor, but along with that, I'm also more than that, actually, I'm taking care of my family business. It's a network marketing business, and I take care of all the international workings of our business. And we have a lot of women, there's a lot of women entrepreneurs these days because it's very different than it was maybe 50 70 years ago, when women didn't have that freedom to just go out and do what they wanted, but now we do. And we still have a long way to go though. However, we can see that a lot of changes have come on, and for that I want to actually applaud and give a big hand to your guys' company, the NB group, to actually have a forum to uplift women. And I was told there's the 32% workforce is women in NB group, so really hats off to you guys. I really want to applaud you in that. It is really the need of the hour. As I was checking statistics, we still have a long way to go to reach this equality. And as the riddle that Hansla started with, we do have a bias, and I can say I'm also one of them. Yes, I got the answer right, but maybe because I've heard it somewhere before, we automatically don't think of the CEO of a company as a woman because that's what we've grown up with. So the first of all, the equality and the opportunity is needed, and it's not just the equality in the opportunity, but also equality on how a woman is treated in the workforce and how she's compensated. All the statistics point that women get paid less, women are treated less, women are not able to get to the positions that they even qualify for. So we'll chat a little bit about that. And the gender equality, I was just reading something somewhere. There's this organization, which is the United Nations arm, which deals with the sexual and reproductive health. That's their agency. They talk about gender equality, how it means that it doesn't mean that just because we're trying to bring gender equality, that men and women are the same. We have our differences, but what it really should mean is that the access to opportunity is equal. We as men and women, us as women, should have equal opportunity. And it shouldn't depend our access to opportunity, our life changes. It shouldn't depend on whether we're born as a male or a female. And that's where it's important. So we need to be equal partners. There's a lot of people, rooting for that, rooting for women's equal opportunity. In India, we have, I think, 48% we are female in India, right? However, it doesn't show up in the workforce. It doesn't show up in equality otherwise, but it's working there. It's getting there, and that's what's important. And we all can have a hand to play in that, okay? I want to start off with a quote. This quote is from Shirley Chisholm. She was the first African American, the Black American woman who was elected to Congress, which was a major party. So just listen to this really carefully. You don't make progress by standing on the sidelines, whimpering and complaining. You make progress by implementing ideas. We must reject not only the stereotypes that others hold for us, but also the stereotypes we hold for ourselves. Just like Hansala said, it's not just the men thinking that a woman cannot be a CEO, even us women. So women must become revolutionary. These are her words, and really it is true. So I want to start off this by defining what empowerment is. The word empowerment, self-empowerment is thrown everywhere, left and right. But what does it mean? What is the dictionary meaning, first of all, of empowerment? It means the authority or power given to someone to do something. Okay. Also, the process of becoming stronger and more confident, especially in controlling one's life and claiming one's right. So that's what empowerment is. The empowerment is to get control of yourself, to get also to claim your right. And that's very important. So I am talking to the women, as a woman myself. It's all about building the women around you. But today, it's not. For me, what I want to share today is building yourself first. In order to build the women around you, that first circle
Hello,
is you.
testing.
So first, you have to build you, and that's where you start with yourself. So how can a woman build herself? A woman can build herself first of all by knowing herself.
Hello,
You
testing.
have to be confident in believing in your own self-worth. Because if I don't believe in my own self-worth, everyone can fight for my equal right. But what good is that if I don't believe in myself? So it's very, very important to believe in yourself. And how can we believe in ourselves? And it's not just, how I am as a mother, how I am as a sister, how I am as a partner, as a wife, but who am I? What is it that are my strengths, my weaknesses? So we need to know ourselves in that sense. Another thing is education. And it doesn't always mean formal education, but we can keep learning. We can keep educating ourselves by improving our knowledge, by reading, by knowing what's going around on us. And how else can we do that? We can dream big. Okay. When you have a big dream and then you go for that dream, and that dream doesn't mean you have to emulate somebody else. You can have your own personal leadership style, and that's what's amazing, because diversity is important. Even though we want equality, but we still want diversity. There's so many women out there that can be your role models. Okay, so find a role model. That's very, very important. Another thing is, especially as a woman, we need to learn to say no. Because if something is too much for us, we need to say no. We can't just take everything on. And just because, we're talking about, gender equality, women working, having, equal power in the workforce, but you have to know what you want for yourself. It's not that, you also want a career, you also want this. It's you have to go within yourself and see what you want. So I really urge all women to first just sit and say, what is it that I want? And then go from there. So how else can a woman empower herself? One is by making connections, personal connections, professional connections. And where do these connections come from? We can look at the women around us, women we know, and we can look, there's so much resources available. How about learning? How about, educating ourselves about women leaders? And leadership is not only by getting a big position in a company, becoming a CEO of a company. Leadership is at every single level, and leadership starts from home. Leadership starts from how we treat each other, especially women, how women treat women. And that's where we go. We have to encourage other women, and that you have to strive for. What do they want? Me as a woman, what
Hello.
do I want, and what do the women around me want? Okay, so
Hi,
how we can do
Angela.
that
Hi,
is when
Angela.
we
Am I audible?
have a mentor who's a strong personality.
Yes, Megha, you're
who
audible.
basically you want to get a mentor in a field in where you want to go. You
So
don't want to
guys,
have a mentor
the
in a
event will
field
start off at
where
around
you don't
5:30.
want to go. So
We
find
are
a
waiting
mentor
for
that's close
all
to
the
your heart,
guests and all
and then
everybody to
you
join in.
become a mentor for other women. So
So
important.
please be a
So
little
you
patient,
surround yourself
and
with people that uplift you.
yeah, we'll
Anything
start on
negative that's
at
around you,
5:30.
you just let it go. That's a way to empower yourself.
So,
And
first of
again,
all,
like I
thank
said, when
you
you start
to
looking,
all
there are
those who
so
have
many
joined.
examples. I went on the net a
Welcome
couple of days
to
ago
our
when I
first
knew I
ever
was going to
digital
talk about
platform of
that.
Sheros.
So many women within
And
India,
yes, we'll be
outside of
starting
India,
very
that
soon.
are taking those leadership roles. Some at a big level, with organizations, some at their own level in their
So
own
we
right.
request you to stay
They are
tuned till
becoming
then.
models and mentors
And
for other people, so you
yeah,
can
thank you
find that
once
as
again
well.
for
I
joining in.
want to give one example, and that example is very close to my heart. It's from my own life, and that's my mother. Just a little background: my mom, born in the mid 1940s. She was born to her mother after many years. My nanny couldn't conceive, but she prayed, or however, there was a miracle, and she could conceive, and she gave birth to my mom and her twin brother. So twins were born to her after a long time. And guess what? It wasn't the men that said anything. It was the women around her. You know what they said? Hey, you've got two children, you've got a boy and a girl, you can give the girl something. You know what that means? That means she could have become that statistic of so many girl children who do not see beyond their first day, second day of their life. And my mother could have been that statistic. But my nanny fought against that. She goes, there's no way. I've prayed for these children and I'm keeping my daughter as well. She's a boon from God. And my mom ended up becoming, after that, my nanny had three other boys. So out of the four brothers, my mother is the most successful person in her family among her siblings. She's a medical doctor, and after her practice, they got into a business. My mom and dad run it together. My mom empowers so many women around her, always uplifting, but a man had a hand in uplifting my mother. It was her uncle who was a doctor. He always uplifted her, always, helped her get ahead, helped her get her education, and that's how she could become a doctor. So we always need people around us to uplift us. And in that upliftment, we need to also have a hand. So one other thing that my mom has done is in her own organization, she uplifts women, and also then a lot of relatives, she's educated the nieces, the nephews who maybe couldn't have gotten that education on their own. So she's paid that back many times.
Yeah, so
And
I can
that's
see
what we need to
26
do.
people
So
joined in
once
now.
we
So welcome,
empower
guys.
ourselves, we need to
And we will be
work
starting the
with
session very
empowering
soon. We
the
request you
women
guys to
around
stay
us, the
tuned. We
supporting
will be
the
starting
women
the session
around
at
us.
5:30
I
sharp.
read somewhere, I'm just
So
going to read
welcome
that.
to all
A
those who
woman,
have
when
just
alone,
now
has
joined,
power,
who have
but
recently joined.
collectively,
A
we
warm
have
welcome to all.
impact. So that's what we need to do. Women collectively, we need to have impact. We need to work together, and only then we can, take away this disparity. What's, the differences, and that's very important. We need to raise each other up, and we need to channel this power of collaboration, because when we work together, we can work better. We work as a team, and teamwork is very important. I'm sure in your guys' organization, teamwork is really there. So today, even though, I know men and women are both attending, and we always talk about how men put women down, but I want to let women know that we are our worst enemies sometimes. And it's a very well-known fact. There are studies that have been done. This lady, she did this literature review in 2013 and found that women, by large, they express indirect aggression towards other women. And what is the reason for that? The reason was found that it's because we think that if we put other women down, we're promoting ourselves, or if we put the other person down, we're promoting ourselves by making ourselves look more attractive. But it is actually the opposite, because a lot of research has been done where when they've seen that when women work together, when people work together, not just women, even men, but especially the studies have noticed that when women work together, their progress is much more. So let's raise each other up, channel that power of collaboration. And also the stereotype that we have, with the study that I just talked about, the review, is that we don't support each other. So it needs to start with me. I have to start supporting the women around me, and then even the men will support us if we can support each other first. So that research really points out to the particular benefit from collaboration over competition. All right, study after study is showing that women who support other women are more successful in business. So empowerment has nothing to do with competition. So just remember that empowering yourself and then contributing, to others as well, to their empowerment. And that's really, really important.
Hello.
So what really happens to
Testing
live
one
an
two three.
empowered
Testing
life?
1 2 3.
We need this
I hope this
cooperation,
time
we
I'm
need
audible and my audio
education,
is not
we
cracking.
need success, we
If
need to see
my audio is
the
cracking
success
or there are
around us,
static,
and then we can
please write it in
work
the
on
chat box
our
so that we
dreams
can
and
check
then
from our end
empower
to see
other
what
women
the
to
issue
work
is.
on their dreams. So how is it that we
Hansala, I
can
can
do
hear
that?
you.
I want to
I
point
can hear
out
you. I
to
hope
this
you also can
lady,
hear me
Anne
equally clear.
Friedman. She
Yes,
coined
yes.
this phrase, I don't shine if
Okay.
you don't
Okay.
shine. So let's just make this, I would urge the
If there
NB
is
group to
anybody who
have
is
this
facing
somewhere. I
audio
don't
issues, who's
shine
not
if
able
you
to
don't
hear us,
shine. Just
guys,
put it
please
up in
mention it in the
writing,
chat box.
have a really nice plaque
Please write
made
it in
with
the
that.
chat box. If
And
there are
that's
any
an
questions and
amazing,
any queries, you can mention it in the
thing
chat
if we
box.
can think that my shining will happen if I help others around me shine. So it's a commitment to collaboration. Like I said, you surround yourself with women that are successful. So have your role models of women that are successful, and also always get mentorship. In my business, where we build network assets, mentorship has a huge role. So if we can find a mentor who is successful, then we can applaud them, and then you shine because you are following a role model. Okay. But if we're hating women, who are getting more successful, we're just bringing those negative feelings. They're actually negative feelings about ourselves. So how do we empower others also? By first empowering ourselves. It always starts with you. So you are that first circle to make that change that goes more and more and more. All right. So she talks about, Anne Friedman talks about her solution. She goes, when you meet a woman who is really good at what she does, she's beautiful, she's stylish, she's very professionally accomplished, instead of feeling envious and jealous, befriend her, be her friend. So, and surround yourself with other people like this. When you do that, then you get better, okay? Because you get uplifted. If you're having feelings of envy and jealousy, then even you go down. That's no way to grow, all right? So it's time to focus on valuing each other for our individuality and respecting other women for the choices they make. Maybe we don't understand those choices, but we still respect a choice that somebody else makes. You have to push past that tendency. It's actually it's ingrained in us. We're grown up like that. I remember growing up like with my dadi, my grandmother. She used to always favor my brother, and I saw that growing up. So we grow up with this, and unconsciously we also do that in turn. I have myself a son and a daughter, and I really try to put those biases aside so I can treat them equally, so I can give them equal opportunity. We have this thing of protecting our daughters and letting our sons go out. So if we don't change in our home, how can we expect the society to change? How can we expect the politicians to make policies for equality if we're not treating our own sons and daughters equally? So it's very, very important. So it's the choice that we make for ourselves and the choice we make around us, okay? It's so important. I do want to actually point out to the NB Group's 4 core values. Since I didn't know anything about your company before coming here as a guest speaker, I went on the net, and there's 4 core values that the company stands by, and that is ethical business practices. If for the employees, if you don't know that, learn your core values, because that goes for the women empowerment as well. So ethical business practices, integrity, transparency, and respect for people. How can we use these core values to uplift the women in our group? Okay, so ethical business practices, what is it? Says in your own, if you guys don't know your own core values, read them. It says it's rooted in trust and honesty. So trust starts with yourself. Trust yourself, trust your power, trust your strength, and then you work with honesty, honestly work with other women around you to increase that trust. Because if women can trust themselves, then the men around you will also trust you. Next is integrity. This is again coming from your own core values. We act with integrity and internal code of honor by always doing the right thing. So same with us as a woman, I need to act with integrity. I need to have a code of honor, and that code of honor
Um,
needs to include
Lavleen,
me
is the echo
uplifting
still there?
other women
Lavleen,
around me. All right. So uplift
It is
yourself
better.
and then uplift,
Just
and
speak again.
you just embody that womanhood that is so powerful and so caring
okay,
and
cool.
nurturing. So let's be caring and nurturing in our work environment also. Next is transparency. So your core value says we strive to never surprise anyone with anything. We share information with each other and obviously our clients. So let's start with this each other. Let's not surprise anyone. If there's anything that we can help anyone, if we see that something can help somebody, let's do that. Let's uplift everyone around us. Last and not the least is respect for people, and not just for your clients. The respect begins at home. Respect begins right in your organization. Respect for your co-workers, and that includes men and women alike. So I think that is really it, all I wanted to cover. In the end, it's all about starting with home. No matter what we start with, if I want to teach somebody about health, I need to learn and I need to implement that on myself. And same with empowering women. You empower yourself and then you empower everybody around you. So I hope I've made some sense. And once again, I want to applaud all the women who are getting the awards today, who are getting recognized, for their contribution to the company. I really applaud all of you. All right, back to you guys, Hansala and Megha. Thank you.
Uh, thank you so much,
Thank you,
Miss
Miss Lavleen.
Lovely.
Most welcome.
Okay.
Going ahead with the
Okay,
second
so
act of the
I
day,
can see 58
and
people
that
have
is
joined in. So
the Sheros quiz,
warm welcome to
or
people who have
know
joined
your
us in the
Sheros.
last
So
5 to
before
10
proceeding with
minutes.
this
We
activity,
will
I would
be
just say
beginning
one
the
thing.
session very, very soon,
It's a
as our
quote.
scheduled time is
Don't know
5:30. So
who
I
said
would
it,
request you
but
all
it
to be
is.
patient
It goes like
and
this.
stay tuned
She
with
is
us. We
confident
will be
and
beginning the
courageous.
session very,
She
very
has the
soon.
ability to achieve her goals and dreams. And this is what the following Sheros did. They were confident, they were courageous, and they had the ability to achieve. So now this activity is essentially like a trivia. Okay. So a question or a situation will be displayed. For example, it would be something about a person. The photograph and the name of the person would be displayed. Now you have to quickly answer in the chat box A, B, or C. So we'll take an example. So this is an example. Now all of them on the screen are Sheros, have achieved greatness. They have done feats. They have achieved things that nobody ever thought a woman could. So with that in mind, now you have to write in the chat box A, B, or C, or you can directly write the name. The question is there in the orange, and these three are the Sheros that accomplished it.
So Hanjala, do we have a time limit for a particular question, or for how long the question will be displayed
This
on
this
screen
be
for people to answer?
this 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 being the first question, and let's see. We are getting a lot of answers. So once the answers slow down, we will move ahead to the next one. So I've already received say around 50 to 60 responses, and all of them are correct, which I am shocked to.
Oh wow. Okay, okay, great,
Okay,
great.
cool
Yeah.
guys. Now going ahead to trivia question number 2. Let's see who can answer this one. So yes, guys, all of you are correct. You are Mithali Raj. Let's see.
The correct
From now
answer
on, we will
was
have
Mithali.
yes.
So guys, here comes the
So
next
guys,
question, question number 2.
okay. This time we
You
have a
all can
mix
put
of
the answers in
answers.
the chat box.
Some say it's B, some say
Okay.
it's C.
Okay.
A good deal of battle going on. B, C's back to back. Okay, good. So majority of
Okay.
you have given the right answer. Okay, and that's correct. The right answer was Vidya Balan.
Yeah. The correct answer is Vidya Balan. Okay.
Yes. Third question,
Next.
very easy.
Yeah. Question number 3.
Yeah. Started receiving the answers. Okay. A couple of wrong answers, but majority, all of them have given the right answer, and it should have been the right answer because it's pretty evident. Everybody knew her, although she met with a tragic accident, but she made her country proud. And yes, it is Kalpana Chawla. A.
So the
Moving
correct
ahead to the
answer is
fourth
Kalpana
question.
Chawla. I think this one is pretty simple, right, Hansla?
Okay.
Have you received
Okay.
any answers so far?
Not even a single wrong answer. Everyone has given the right answer. That's amazing.
See, I told you.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
So there are people who still get confused. So yeah. So yes, it was B, Sania Mirza.
So the
All
correct
of you were
answer,
right.
yeah, Tanya Mirza.
The fifth in the list. Now this might be a bit confusing for a lot of people. Let's see how many right answers do we get. Okay. Oh, good. Okay. No wrong answers till now. So yeah,
That's amazing. That's amazing, Hansla.
yeah,
That's really amazing.
yes, one or two here and there, but all of them have given the right answer. And just like you guys have answered, it is Shirom Sharmila.
Okay, great.
Next one on the
Himo
list is,
Sharmila.
now all these three are chess players. All of them have made India proud, but one of them stands apart from the rest. She has a game in her own name, and she has won a lot of awards and made India proud. Let's see. Okay, okay, good, good. This is the first time that we have such a mix of answers. A, B, C, and it's a mix. Come on, guys, come on. Let's see. Okay, okay. This time, majority of you are not correct. So a lot of people answered A and B, but the actual answer was Tanya Shakdev. So, beauty with brains. Question 7. Now, she is a record holder, first Asian woman and the youngest to do so. What she had achieved. Let's see who can get this one right. Okay, we've started receiving the answers. This time the crowd is not on the right track.
Okay, I can
Same.
see 104 people
Guys,
have already joined in. So,
the right
welcome
answer
to
was
all
B,
those who
Bhakti
have
Sharma,
joined
but
us in the
majority of them
last,
had
say, 5 to
answered
7
C.
minutes.
I
A
guess they
very
saw the
warm
swimming pool
welcome to
behind
all
and
of
they
you.
guessed that, oh yeah,
Welcome to
she
our
must be it.
first ever digital Sheros session.
Okay.
We
Eighth
will be
one. Now
starting the
this is a
session very,
very
very soon. We are
well-known fact.
expecting few more attendees who will be
She's
joining
very
us
famous.
shortly. So please stay
The
tuned. Please
first
be patient. We will be
women
starting the
officer
session very,
of
very
India.
soon, guys.
Okay. Okay. Oh, great. सही आंसरों की लड़ी लगा दी लोगों ने. Absolutely correct. Yep. She is Kiran Bedi. Okay, now this one. This is a bit tricky one.
Hansla.
All the three are journalists,
Yeah.
and all of them have done some pretty good work. But one of them stands apart from the crowd. Let's see if people are able to, get the right answer. Okay. Okay, keep them coming. Initially, it started out with a lot of wrong answers, but slowly the crowd got on the track and they figured it out. Yes, it is Bharka Dutt. Okay, last question. Now, everyone should know this, and there shouldn't be a wrong answer for this. She's a well known personality, a great motivational speaker. She hosted her own TV show as well. Yes, yes. Okay, how can we get a wrong answer on this one?
Simpler one.
We still have wrong
Simpler one.
answers.
Simpler one. Oh, surprising, huh? That is surprising.
Yeah, actually. So, guys, there was a movie made in her name. The movie Chapat was, her story. Actually, it was her documentary, basically. And yeah, majority of you are right. It's Lakshmi Agarwal. Well, still a few of you got it wrong. And in a lot of cases, if I would have shown you the photograph of Sachin Tendulkar or some other male celebrity, even a half celebrity, we would have recognized it, within moments. But when it comes to female celebrities, female achievers, that is when we take time. We need to think कि अरे कौन है, किधर देखा है, न्यूज में देखा था या कुछ. So this shows the amount of focus that we give to males in this male dominant society is far more than what we give to women, although they have achieved equally or in many cases even better and even more. But in this world, we try to compete with each other in terms of gender rather than competing together, and that is what has caused this gap in the diversity, that male female, ladka hai to aisa, ladki hai to waisa. If he's a male cricket, everybody wants to watch, and this includes girls as well. But I have hardly met any girl who is interested or who likes to watch female cricket. They go out there, they have achieved pretty good trophies, they have won tournaments, etc. But you will never hear people talking about them. Okay, with that, we move ahead to the third activity, and that is know the Sheros around you. So over here, you need to describe the transformation
Okay.
of any one around you in a single punchline.
Yeah.
Anyone?
So yeah, this is the next activity that we have in line. Know the Sheros around you. In this, basically, what you have to do is, guys, you need to describe the drastic transformation of any single woman that you know around you in a single punchline. It can be anybody. It can be somebody related to you professionally or personally, somebody who you know and who has changed herself, of course, for the betterment and in a very very positive way, over a period of time. You need to describe that particular person in a single punchline. So for this activity, I am going to choose certain people whom I would like to speak, and of course, voluntary. People who want to speak up voluntarily are most welcome. They can raise their hands. They can ask Hansala to unmute, and you guys can speak. So for this, we will start with Swati ma'am, Swati Chavarkar ma'am. Can I just request you to start with this activity? Hansala, can you just unmute her?
Yep, already did.
Okay, great.
Hi, Mega. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Hello, everyone.
Mega, if I have to
Good evening. Thank you all.
brief or describe someone in one liner,
Just a
I
moment.
would describe Sonam. Sonam came from a training background. Then she worked
मम्मी
in
अरे जाओ यार, इनको
corporations,
फोकस
and
करने
then
नहीं
she
होता है, सर
moved
पे
to
नहीं
the
काम
client
करने क्या
cam role.
है, सो अभी यही सब अभी करने की जरूरत है
Initial
क्या?
days,
पूरे दिन से बोल के
she
रखा ना
used to
5 रुपए का इवेंट
behave
है.
like a
ले
Jhansi
तू
ki
निकल
Rani.
रहे
I
ऊपर
used to
निकल.
always tell her that मैं अपनी झांसी नहीं दूंगी. This was the concept of her. With every small thing, she used to have issues with the other colleagues whom she was dealing in different departments. In this step, she has learned a lot of things. She started understanding कि झांसी उसकी नहीं है, किसी की नहीं, सबकी है, और सबका कंट्रीब्यूशन बहुत जरूरी है इसके लिए. And now there is a lot of change in her way she deals with her team members and colleagues. And I interact or I hardly get into their issues. So she has come a long way with this, I could say. Thank you.
Okay. Wow, that's
A very good
great.
evening
So,
to
Sonam,
everybody
if you
who
have
has
heard
joined
this,
this
I'm
call,
sure you are there
and
on
we
line.
welcome you
Congratulations.
all to
And
our
we've seen a
first
lot of
ever
transformation
digital
in you.
platform
So
for
Evening,
keep
everyone.
sharing.
up the good
Thank
work.
each
I'm
and everyone
sure,
for
I'm
being
sure
with us
that
today. We are very pleased to be able.
Sonam, all right. So I am going to choose
She has
the
disconnected, I
person.
guess. Sonam has disconnected, some
Okay,
network issue. We can move
okay.
ahead with the second person.
Okay, no worries. So moving on to our next Shiro, or to somebody who I would like to speak about is Shilpa. So Hansala, can you unmute Shilpa Divane so that she can speak about any women that she knows with a single
Yep,
punchline?
already done.
Okay, great.
Hello, can you
Hi
hear me?
Shilpa. Yes,
Hi,
Shilpa. Hi.
am I audible?
Hi. Yes,
Okay,
yes, yes, you
here
are.
I would like to tell about my grandmother. You know, this courageous woman who raised her 5 children all by herself, despite of she dying hundreds of times emotionally, but she definitely resides in all of our hearts forever. Just because of her willpower, nothing else, which is really uncomparable, I think so. So, you know, for me, she's a hero and she's a big inspiration. That is what I want to say now. Thank you.
Just to add one more thing over here,
We
you know
can see
how the
that.
saying goes
Yeah,
that maybe know them, maybe be them, maybe raise them. So she was a Shiro, a tough woman, and I'm sure that she
Yes,
raised a tough woman. So yeah,
definitely.
that is
True
how it
that.
goes.
yes, yes. So we can see that in your personality, Shilpa. We can definitely
Yeah,
see that thing coming across
I'm
in your
heavily
personality.
inspired with her. You know, I really wish to be like her someday, if not today.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing spirit. That's amazing
Thank
thoughts. Um, okay. So moving on to the next person, I would like to choose. By the way, guys, you can volunteer also for this activity. Otherwise, I will continue to choose from my side. So Hansila, can you please unmute Neeti now? Hansila, am I audible?
Yes, I have unmuted her. I have unmuted her. It's
Okay,
muted
great.
from her end. Nidhi, could
Hi,
you
Neeti.
unmute
You
from
can
your end?
unmute and speak.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, everyone. Thanks. Actually, it's such a interactive program that we are having today. And the one person who I would like to, speak about is my mother. The never give up attitude, which I've learned from her. At the time, we are three daughters, born in the type of, I would belong from North, which is particularly Patna, Bihar. So, at that time, having three daughters, no sons, a lot of pressure from the family, and a lot of things were there. The type of, courage that she had showed in our upbringing stands apart, and she herself has fought with the cancer treatments twice in her life, and she's still, happy and healthy with us. So that's a never give up attitude, which I have learned, and I would want always to be like her someday. So thank you so much.
You are very much like her. We can see that in your approach and attitude towards life. So that never give up attitude is very much there in you, and that's what takes you to a different level, and you reach heights, or you achieve excellence in whatever you do. I'm sure you would agree with me on this. So great job, and you definitely are walking on the footprints of your mom. So more power to her and to you as well.
Yeah,
So
sure.
yes,
Thank you so much.
next up, yeah,
Let's get some
next up,
mails.
Hansala.
You know,
Uh,
come ahead voluntarily.
okay.
वैसे तो मतलब
Actually, we
ये
should get some
फैक्ट है कि
volunteers also. I mean, I'm going on. Can
वो
we
लोग
have some males
जितने
who
भी
can
मेल्स है
come?
सेशन में दे आर थिंकिंग दैट एक बोलते हैं ना, एक औरत की तारीफ एक लाइन में तो हो नहीं पाएगी, तो मे
अरे
बी
कोई
दैट्स व्हाई
नहीं,
दे आर
एक लाइन
स्केर्ड
मत
टू कम है,
बोलो, यू
बोले
कैन
सब
स्पीक फोर
शीरोज है।
लाइंस, दे कैन स्पीक फोर लाइंस आल्सो, वन लाइन ऐसा कोई मैं कुछ करूंगी थोड़ी, इट्स नॉट अ रेस्ट्रिक्शन. सो कम ऑन गाइस, डू वी हैव नवीन ऑनलाइन? Hansala, Naveen Putran?
Yes, he is there. Unmuting him now. Yes,
Yeah,
Naveen.
please.
कुछ अल्फाज.
Hey Naveen, hi. Hi Naveen, am I audible?
Yeah, can you hear me, Megha?
It's
Hello?
a little bit of a lag, but yes, I can hear you, Naveen. I can hear you. There's a little bit of lag. Yeah, tell me, Naveen.
Yes. Hmm. Yeah, Megha, before I start, I would like to say we have been appreciated many times for good work and for extracurriculum activity. Not because of we are updated, but because of Women Power Writers Center. If I talk about Pune Center, we have the ratio of 75 and 25. 75 percentage are girls. So they all are Sheros.
Thing, Naveen.
Hello?
If you can describe a little bit more, how do you think they are Shiros?
See, we have won many activities like if it is the small activity, if we talk about any activities like the extra activities or performance, Pune team is ahead because we have the good ratio at our Pune center, 75 percentage. आई थिंक किसी में एक के बारे में नहीं बोल सकते क्योंकि लॉकडाउन के बाद मुझे ऑफिस वापस जाना है. Am I
I
audible?
understand that, Naveen. So I also would like you to address on a generic basis. That's the reason I asked you that. What do you think is most common about the women in Pune team? You know, जैसे आप बोल रहे हो कि 75 to 25 ratio. So you think that helps you?
Pardon? Hello, Mega.
Naveen, yeah. Yes,
Actually,
Naveen, I
pardon
can hear you.
me. I didn't.
Yes, Naveen.
Actually, I didn't get you.
I can't hear you. Sorry, there is some network lag, I guess. Yes, Naveen.
Yes. Actually, Mega, I didn't get this. What you said. Actually, there is network issue at my side.
I understand. No worries, Naveen. No worries. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind words. I think
Yeah.
I will continue to choose one or two people more from my side. So I have Hansala. Can you just unmute Anjali from our team?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Just a moment.
So actually, it's your turn now.
Hi, Mega. Good evening. Hope everyone can hear me.
Hi.
Yes, loud and clear.
Yes.
So, actually, I want to tell about two people in this organization. I have seen two people from whom I'm encouraging more. Like, I'm learning many things from them. So, one is Shweta Jha. So, I can give a tagline to her is power of positivity. So, whenever we go to her regards our problems and everything, she always solve with her true positivity. And second to Julie, she's a captain of cool. So Captain Cool, I can give her tagline. She's a so cool and calm whenever we ask her anything or whenever she explain us, she never gets angry. If we go to her for many times, 100 times, if we ask anything, so she always explain her in a very calm way. Hello, hello.
Yes, yes, Anjali. Thank you so much. And yes, yes, Anjali. Yes. Thank you so much. And yes, I definitely agree with your thoughts. Who would be a better person to agree to this? You know, we are all in the same team, and Julie definitely is a tank of patience, I would say, and Shweta is the power of positivity, no doubt about it. So yes, Hansala, do you want to choose anybody, or should I just go ahead and take a name?
Let me choose. Let me choose. Okay, let's see who
Okay,
all
great,
are
great,
there.
great. Go ahead.
So I'll just randomly choose someone. Okay. Okay, all females I can see. Males किधर चले गए? Okay, so let's here say Aban. So he's the first in the list. So Aban,
Hi.
hi.
Okay, yeah. So can you just
Uh,
unmute him?
Yeah,
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 already did.
I am on unmute. Yes. Um,
Hi, Aman.
you actually caught me by surprise. But yes. I think the Shiro for me, obviously, would undoubtedly be my mother, because what we are today. I mean, she's raised two boys. We had, I'd just like to share with all of you that my elder brother is a twin, and we lost our sister at birth. But yes, I mean, um, I think the absence of having a sister has always been with both of us. But I think my mother has instilled such values in us that um, we can only have a lot of respect for the other gender, and we always supportive of the same. So I think undoubtedly it's going to be my mother. Thank you.
Wow, Abound. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much for such kind words. I'm going to choose the last person now, and it's going to be Trishali. So, Hansala, can you just unmute her quickly so that she can speak?
Yes, already did.
Trishali, you can go ahead and speak.
Uh, Hi everyone. Yeah, actually for me it's my Jhansi ki Rani Megha, because I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes,
Hello.
yes, Trishali. Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So it's Jhansi ki Rani Megha, because when I feel that she every time stands for her team and for herself too, कि जब भी उनको लगता है that she is right and she knows that she is right, तो वो पीछे नहीं हटती है. So that's the thing I like about her. So thank you so much, Megha.
You're welcome, Trishali. You're welcome, and thank you for such a lovely tag. I love it, Jhansi ki Rani. Thank you so much. And what better concluding note could we have for this particular activity? I have a new tag with me now. Thank you so much once again, Trishali. Okay, Hansala, with this, we will move on to our next activity. Can you just quickly tell us what the activity is?
Yeah, sure, Mega. So this activity is called Your Model Shiro. So over here, the the participants who are there, the audience that is there, basically. So they would be sharing a story about their model Shiro. So it can be anyone. It can be someone whom they have worked with within the organization, outside the organization, someone in their personal life, like their mother, sister, or some random stranger that they know about, and they can share the story about the model Shiro.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
So this particular section would talk about your model Shiro, meaning what a person exactly perceives a Shiro to be, what he or she thinks a Shiro is. What is the definition, and how do they think it really contributes to the organization and to the society as a whole. So for this particular activity, I think we should invite Sunny. So Hansala, can you just unmute him
Yeah, sure.
so that he can go ahead and
Yeah.
In, uh, thank you, Hanzala. You can hear me, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Thanks, Megha and Hanzala, to give me this opportunity. So I'll take this session in Hindi because I think that's ये हिंदी सबको easily होगा to understand the language, सबको समझने के लिए आसानी होगा. So my role model, before I talk to you about my role model, is uh, मैं एक story बताऊंगा. So जब मैं छोटा, when I was growing, जब मैं school days में था, I was never, मैं एक bright student नहीं था. I was not a bright student. मैं एक bright मेगा या अंजला जैसा bright student नहीं था. I was a very fair score child जहाँ पे मेरे को average percent आता था. मेरी दादी हमेशा मेरे को बोलती थी, you know what, Sunny, you have to be focused. आपको focus करना बहुत जरूरी है. And मैं हमेशा मेरी दादी को पूछता था, दादी focus मतलब कैसे करते, focus करते कैसे करते. सो उस वक्त उन्होंने मुझे एक स्टोरी बताया, एंड द स्टोरी इस तरह से स्टार्ट होता है कि एक मेरी एज की लड़की टेनिस खेल रही थी. ओके, वो टेनिस खेल रही थी और उस वक्त उसको टेनिस खेलते खेलते उसको ये रियलाइज होता है कि उसके जो बाल है, जो चोटी वाले बाल है, उसको डिस्टर्ब कर रहे हैं, एंड शी इज नॉट, वो टेनिस ठीक से खेल नहीं पा रही है. तो उसने थोड़ा एक या 2 राउंड खेला, देन वो अपने पास ही के बेंच में उसके मॉम डैड बैठे थे, वो वहां पे चली गई और उसने अपने मॉम डैड को बोला कि मुझे मेरे बाल कटवाने. तो उसके मॉम डैड ने उसे स्माइल किया और बोला ठीक है, जाके बाल कटा लो. उसी वक्त वो भाग के रोड क्रॉस करके एक सैलून वाला था, वो वहां पे गई और उसने अपने बाल, जबकि वो सैलून वाला मेल सैलून वाला था, उसने उसके चूड़ियां काट दी और उसको एक मैन हेयर स्टाइल दे दिया. ओके, ये मैन हेयर स्टाइल हो गया. वो लड़की वापस आई, उसने टेनिस खेलना स्टार्ट किया, एंड विद दैट फोकस शी वाज एबल टू विन द टेनिस मैच. ओके, नॉट ओनली दैट मैच, आफ्टर दैट उन्होंने उस टेनिस प्लेयर ने जितना भी मैचेस खेला, शी वाज एबल टू विन दैट मैच थ्रू आउट द जर्नी. ओके, शी वाज नॉट एबल, उसने सिर्फ टेनिस मैच नहीं खेला, शी सैट फॉर एन गवर्नमेंट एग्जाम व्हिच शी वाज एबल टू क्लियर. आईपीएस की एग्जाम उनको देना था, उन्होंने क्लियर किया. ओके, एंड दिस स्टोरी इंस्पायर्ड मी अ लॉट. दिस स्टोरी गेव मी एन, इस स्टोरी ने मेरे को डेफिनेशन दिया फोकस का, कि अगर आपको कोई चीज दिल से करना है तो उसको यू हैव टू डू इट विद फुल कॉन्सेंट्रेशन, पूरा ध्यान लगा के करना है. ना ही कोई भी चीजों से अगर आपको लगता है आप डिस्ट्रैक्ट हो रहे हो, यू नीड टू कीप दैट थिंग अवे. एंड इस स्टोरी ने मेरे को काफी इंस्पायर्ड किया, पोस्ट विच मेरे स्कोर तो काफी इम्प्रूव नहीं हुए, बट वेर एवर आई एम टूडे इज बिकॉज ऑफ दिस वन स्टोरी कीपिंग इन दिस माइंड. ये स्टोरी मेरी दादी ने मेरे को जिसके बारे में बताया था, शी इज अ वेरी फेमस लेडी, एंड द लेडी नेम इज किरण बेदी. So when she was in her school days, जब school days में थे, she was a very excellent player, टेनिस प्लेयर. उन्होंने पूरा इंडिया का भ्रमण किया है टेनिस टूर्नामेंट्स के लिए. पोस्ट विच she gave her IPSC exam. Like said, एक क्विज में जो पूछा गया था, she became the first officer in 1975, the first female Indian police service officer to start her service in 1975. And yeah, she's one of my Sheros whom I look up to and get inspired. So this is my short story. ये मेरी छोटी सी story है Sheros के ऊपर. Thank you, Megha.
Wow, Sunny. Wow, wow. I think our thoughts match because Kiran Bedi is my idol too. I really, really love her. I get inspired whenever I see her, and I really want to become like her. Obviously, in my own field, but whenever I look at her, whenever I see the zeal with which she works, even today, it really inspires me a lot, and I'm sure it does inspire a lot of other people too. She is an inspiration to many. So our thoughts definitely match on this. Great, Sunny. Great. Thank you so much for that input. Thanks a lot. Next up, I would request Aban also to speak a few words, and then we can definitely move ahead with the next section of our activity. So, Aban, over to you. Hansala, can you just unmute him quickly so that he can speak?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Hanzala. Thank you, Mega. And thank you, everyone, for allowing me the opportunity to share my thoughts, on this beautiful occasion. To be very honest with you, it's one of the first companies, where I'm witnessing this event. I mean, sadly but true. And I feel honored to be a part of this, to share my thoughts. So I think I will start, by just making everyone understand what do you mean by Sheros. Okay. Um, Now, if I may ask anyone what symbolizes Superman, all of us will tell us that, it's the S that stands for super on the man behind the suit, right? Similarly, the masculine noun for he, of course, a male who can literally do anything is called a super he, right? Now, which today in many ways, figuratively, has been replaced by SHE, where not only men, but now our women are redefining themselves and being equivalent to a super he. Now that talks about the she, all right. Now, about the rose, the rose itself is an acronym, and it also defines, qualities of a woman, where ROE would stand for return on equity, all right, where women are doing fabulously well in that. Or you can say return on, or you can say reports of the environment, all right. Women are, because of the caring nature, they are excelling there as well. Where you can talk about rules of engagement or record of employability or even return on expectation. Women have these qualities of loyalty and sincerity, which only adds on to, the badges that they can carry for themselves. Or even the acronym for ROE, which is running on empty or record of earnings or rate of expenditure. It all defines, how a woman, manages finances. So I think in a fun way or not, I feel that the word Sheros is very well defined by, the few examples which I have just shared. And not only, this is my understanding, but I think, even with the current pandemic which is going around through the world, the actions of, female leaders in Denmark, Finland, Germany, Iceland, Norway, New Zealand, or Taiwan, I mean, have cited some really important, like really some supporting evidences saying that women are managing crises better than men, and this is only because of their, their nature or certain qualities that they possess, which is being resilience, being pragmatic, um, having trust in like collective common sense, mutual aid, and humility are just a few features which women have and have actually, made these women successful. So to name a few women who are, like few of these leaders, is the Taiwanese president Tsai Ing-wen, or the New Zealand Prime Minister, that's Jacinda Ardern, or the German Chancellor Angela Merkel. These are just few examples which the entire world is now witness to. And just to add a few, I mean, if like while I was researching about, like for this event, I came to witness a few qualities from our women in everyday lives. Women, if I may describe it well, their perspective tends to be more inward directed. So they have, something like confidently, like enticing. So say, for example, like a male, he goes out in the world to find his destiny. The woman has, like a woman has a power to possess her future within herself. I mean, it's more like a, hidden deep confidence which she has. A quality like maybe wisely selective and receptive. I mean, though she values relationships above all, a woman does enter into them very, you can say indiscriminately. She chooses slowly but very wisely. These are a few qualities that I've seen, and also qualities like, the caring nature or choice and use of words, where men talk normally to communicate information or ideas, whereas women talk to communicate feelings and thoughts. I mean, I'm sure like a lot of us would have seen when a lady talks, or she would actually use the right choice of words, versus a man. And if you look at women, they can actually connect, to people at a very different level. I mean, it may be a young person, an old person, an angry person, or someone who's pensive. Even if it's animals or creatures, plants or flowers, I think women really have that wire to connect to people at a very different level. So I think these qualities make them, truly, very different from a male. And these qualities made me introspect, and I just wanted to share this, with all of you. And it's high time that we realize and accept making her a true Shiro. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aban. Thanks a lot.
Now moving
So,
ahead.
right, so we will move ahead to the next section of our activity, that is appreciating the Shiros around you, or appreciating our female colleagues. So I'm sure everybody remembers, and everybody is quite excited to know that who has received the maximum cards. We've had this activity for this entire week, starting from Monday, wherein we had asked every one of you to appreciate your female colleagues. Even males and females all were equally welcome to appreciate their female colleagues. And yes, we did receive a very, very good response. Received, close to around more than 200 cards, I would say, in a time span of 3 to 4 days. And people did participate wholeheartedly. So thanks to all of you. Thank you very much. And as we had already mentioned, that we will be displaying those cards, or the cards of those Shiros who receive maximum appreciation from their colleagues, created for the ones that can say that we become inspired by these. Over to you, Hanzala. You can have a brief presentation of best Shiros.
Yes. Uh, just one thing before I start off with the list, that who got how many cards and what all they have gotten. एक चीज मैं बस कहना चाहूंगा कि ये क्वांटिटी की रेस नहीं है, किसको ज्यादा मिला किसको कम मिला. This activity was all about कि what others feel about you, how they see you in what retrospect. तो मुझे एक मिला, मुझे दो मिला, उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. उस चीज में क्या था, उन्होंने क्या लिखा था, उसका जो मोल होता है वो ज्यादा होता है. And with that, one of the Shiros who received the, is quite a lot of number of these appreciations is Anjali. She has received around 24 of these cards, but I have shortlisted only 5 क्योंकि उतना दिखाने का टाइम बहुत ज्यादा चले जाता. So these were 5. So if you guys want to read them, you can read. I'll display each of them for 10 seconds. The next one is Babita. So a lot of these cards have, you know, too much written on them, so it's all congested. But this just goes ahead to show कि सामने वाला आपको किस लाइट में रखता है, how much they care about you, how much they love you. So the next hero is Kaveri, and she had received 12 cards. I forgot to mention about Babita. She had received 21 of these. So Kaveri, yeah. Now Mega had received 12 cards. Let's see what these cards have to say. So now Shilpa, she had received 38 of these cards, and let's see what people had to say. Next up on the list is Shweta ma'am, and she had received 16 cards. Next up on the list is Simran, and she had received 11 appreciation cards. Next is Latika. She had received 8 cards. So we can see that a lot of people have received a lot of titles probably in today's event. That was not expected, but yeah, pretty good. Um, so I would just like to say a closing note, followed by which Shweta ma'am would speak. So it is not something that I have written, related to this event, how the event went and all, but it is something that I feel, something that I think, and I would like to share it with you guys. So, as women are not allowed to make decisions for them, women empowerment came in like a breath of fresh air. It made them more aware of their rights and how they must make their own place in the society, rather than depending on a man as the conservative, uh, ideology says. It recognized the fact that things cannot simply work in someone's favor just because of their gender. However, we still have a long way to go when we talk about the reasons why we need it. Now, not only talking about India or any specific country, almost every country, no matter how progressive it has, it has a history of ill-treating women. Not countries, I would even say cultures. Many people might take it, offensively, but that is the truth. Almost every culture has a history of ill-treating women. In other words, women from all around the world have been rebellious to reach the state they have today. The freedom that they have, the independence that they have, they had to fought for it. So every woman is a hero because sometime or some point of her life she had to fight for something or the other, and some are still fighting their battles. While the Western countries are still making progress, third world countries like India, basically Middle Asian countries and Asian countries, they still lag behind in women empowerment. In India, women empowerment is needed more than ever now because, as you must be knowing, that India is amongst the countries which is not safe for women. It has been declared that it is the least one of the least safe countries for women. There are very reasons for this. There are multiple reasons for this. For firstly, it would be that India has a very long history going back to ages of honor killings. If the family think that it is the right to take lives, if they bring shame to the reputation of the legacy, and what this shame, the definition of this shame is nothing but what they think. I have heard people say that, मर जाती तो बेहतर होता आने से. So they are okay with their daughters coming back in coffins rather than, divorcing someone and coming back to them with full respect. Moreover, the education and freedom scenario is very, very recessive here. Women are not allowed to pursue higher education. They are married off early. The men are still dominating women in some region, or I will say in many regions. They think that it's the women's duty to just work like a slave for the husband. वो पति परमेश्वर है, but जो wife होती है उसको दासी होती है. So they are treated like servants. Domestic violence, house abuse, honor killing, दहेज के लिए जला देना, this, that. Like, the list is long, and they do not let them go out or have freedom of any kind. Now, you might be thinking कि बस ये बुराइयां बताते जा रहा है, but these are the truth. This is the reality of society today. We might talk about feminism, we might talk about women empowerment, but अगर आप ग्राउंड लेवल पे जाओगे तो ये सारी चीजें आज भी इतनी ज्यादा पकड़ बना के हमारी सोसाइटी में बैठी है ना. और तकलीफ ये नहीं है कि ये चीजें हैं, तकलीफ ये है कि ये जानते हुए भी हम कुछ नहीं करते. मेल्स को तो छोड़ ही दो, फीमेल्स भी कुछ नहीं करती. अगर किसी एक औरत के साथ बुरा हो रहा है तो दूसरी औरत उसको सपोर्ट करने के बजाय उसको क्रिटिसाइज करती है. A simple example would be if a girl or a female gets raped, बाकी जो फीमेल्स हैं उसको सपोर्ट दिखाने के बजाय आकर उसी की ही बुराई शुरू कर देते हैं, उसको ही कोसने लगते हैं, उसी के रूमर्स बना के फैला देते हैं कि चरित्र सही नहीं था, सीधा कैरेक्टर पे. So yeah, domestic violence and these things are a major problem in India. Men beat up their wife, abuse them as they think that women are their property, more so because women are afraid to speak up. Similarly, the women who do actually work get paid less than their male counterparts, and it is unfair. And and like I can go on and on about this, but you people already know this. So thus we see how women empowerment is the need of the hour. We need to empower these women to speak up for themselves and never be a victim of injustice. But तकलीफ यहाँ पर आती है जहाँ females they still think कि कोई आएगा और करेगा, कोई आके उनके लिए चीजें लाएगा. They do not think कि हमें खुद करना चाहिए, and that is how it should be. When the whole world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful. और ये सिर्फ one voice नहीं होना चाहिए, ये एक ना मच्छी मार्केट बनना चाहिए, इतनी सारी आवाजें होनी चाहिए. So yeah, that is what I believe. And as it is said, a woman with a voice is by definition a strong woman, a powerful woman. And lastly, I will say this for all the people who are listening to me: we cannot change what we are not aware of. But once we are aware of it, we cannot help but change. So now we are aware and we are taking, of course, there are a lot of people who are trying to make a change, they are trying to make a difference, but उसका impact उतना नहीं है. We all need to be that person कि अगर हर कोई उतना एक बूंद के जैसा भी होगा तो हम बाहर ला सकते हैं. So everybody needs to focus on this. They need to start empowering women, start to build women around them. अगर अब मेल से उम्मीद छोड़ ही दो, अगर एक औरत भी एक औरत का साथ देगी तो क्या से क्या अचीव कर लेते हैं. जब उनको साथ नहीं मिला, when they did not have any support, they have achieved greatness that surpasses men in many ways. So what if you just support yourself rather than relying on some other person? You can achieve greatness that is far beyond what you have already achieved. And I'll end my speech by saying this and hand over the mic to Sweta ma'am.
Thank you, Hansala. I hope I'm audible to all.
Yes, Shweta, yes, you are.
It was a great session, when we started with Lavleen talking about all our values, emphasizing on all the values and how you can present it, on a day-to-day basis. Women empowering other women, building yourself before you build others. Extremely, crisp points, precisely. Aban speaking about, Shiro, who a Shiro is, Sunny giving us a beautiful example, all the women talking about the Shiros around them. It was absolutely uh, mesmerizing to hear all the experiences today from all of you. Very, very interactive. I would like to emphasize, like I always do, I always believe that women, it's high time that women should have the seat at the table. When I say table, women should have all the leadership positions in the company.
women are gearing up to take leadership positions. You see a lot of women leaders doing wonders in their organization, bringing transformation, influencing people. And there are precisely, you know, 6 to 7 pointers that all of us need to take care of or probably follow in order to get that seat at the table. And it's not very difficult if you start practicing on a day-to-day basis. The very first thing I would like to talk about, and which I always do, is grit. More than education, the courage that you have to stand for your dreams. You cannot be dropping out because you're getting married or because you're getting pregnant. You cannot be dropping out from the game. So you have to have that grit to stay in the game. If you lose that, that is the first step that you are getting away from that table we are talking about. So have the grit, have the courage to stay in the game. Number 2, you should always practice resilience. When I say resilience, it is nothing but your capacity to, come back quickly from any difficulties and toughness that you have had. If you generate this skill in you, you can do wonders. You must practice resilience. You should start practicing it from today. Practice resilience. The third one definitely is having humility. There is a beautiful book called as Good to Great: Why Some Companies Make the Leap and Others Don't. And it is by Jim Collins. He's a very good author. He has written some good books. And he talks about something called as level 5 leader in this book. And what he defines level 5 leaders is someone who directs their ego away from themselves towards a larger goal of leading the company to greatness. And this, as per him, is possible only if you are grounded and you know your employees right at the bottom. So have humility, be grounded, be connected to everyone in the company. The next could be play to your strengths. We always generally try to work on our weaknesses, and I've seen a lot as a trend that people in interviews also talk about what are your weaknesses and what are you doing to overcome it. In my opinion, you should always try to hone your strengths as far as the weaknesses are not related to your job profile. So you should always try and cultivate your strength to build a solid career. And let me be very straight. If the work that you are doing does not give you a passion, does not give you that fire to achieve what you are doing, then this is not your passion. And you must relook into your passion. Identify your strength and work towards that. Only then you can get there. Always be of service to others. And, I generally practice this. We stand on each other's shoulders, and we must always help each other. There's a beautiful book called as Think Like Zuck, and it is by Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook CEO, and he has written a beautiful book, and he has emphasized that it's either because he always asked someone for help, or he had helped somebody somewhere along the line to get to where he is today. So it's very important to build that network, be connected, and be of service to each other. Take risk as much as possible. Like I said, a very simple example of taking risk is while you're married, while you are working, while you are managing your new life, new work after marriage, while you're managing a new baby, you're taking a risk of also managing your work at the same time. Show that grit, be in the game. That's my only request, and I always emphasize on that. Always find a mentor, and this is the last point that I have. Without a mentor, I have not seen a leader who has been to a position without a mentor. And I shall soon start a very good mentorship program for all of you. A mentor could be anyone, you know, it could be a boss or a colleague, it could be a cross departmental friend, you know, someone who you look up to, someone who shows you the right strengths, someone who shows you the path, someone who knows you in and out, someone in front of whom you can open up and you can listen to the suggestions too. So have a mentor in your life, always, always. If you don't have one, start choosing one. Someone who you really look up to. If you can, you know, implement these 6, 7 pointers, which are very, very simple to sound, but very, very important to execute. If you can manage to execute this, you know, that table is not far. And you will reach there very, very, very soon. And with this note, I would like to thank all the women, all the men who joined us, the entire organization, for your wonderful support. We have received around 200 cards floating, appreciating women. And this shows that, you know, we are trying to build women around us. This is just the first step. Support all the women around you in minutest of the way at any point in time. Thank you so much, Lavleen, for joining us. Thank you, Megha and Hansla, for the wonderful hosting and putting up this show together. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. With this note, I would like to conclude my part here.
Thank you, Shweta. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shweta. Thank you, everyone. All of you who have joined us. Thanks a lot for being with us for the last 2 hours. And I hope you guys had a good session and we definitely added some value. So with this note, we are signing off for today. And we will very soon see you in our next web activity very, very soon. So till then, it's bye-bye from our side. And thanks a lot once again for joining, everyone. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye-bye.